Let me ask you a real question. Why does it feel like Washington has unlimited money for the rest of the world, but none for the people who actually live in this country?
But then the State Department, using its media mockingbird apparatus funded by your tax dollars, the swarm of NGOs, as reported publicly this week that 90% of Ukrainian media outlets are funded by the U.S. government. 90%. Talk about a USA Truman Show.
Jesus Christ.
And so if they're funded by the State Department, guess what? There's a State Department grant coordinator.
Although Ukraine's military aid might be safe, it looks like their propaganda machine is begging for money after Trump put all international funding under a 90-day review. You might not have known this, but 90% of all media outlets in Ukraine pushing the propaganda that the Ukraine dictatorship wants them to push have been funded by your tax dollars. Billions of dollars has been flowing from the USAID into Ukrainian media outlets that were supposedly considered independent. And obviously the purpose of those media outlets is to push anti-Russia propaganda and to build morale and support for the current war going on between Russia and Ukraine.
Every time Congress approves another foreign aid package, it's like they're saying, don't worry, America, you can come last.
We would go to a country and say, we're going to help you with your health care needs. Then we would drive over to Northern Virginia somewhere, find an NGO, one of these organizations, give them all the money, tell them go to this country and do their healthcare program for them. That NGO would then take about some percentage of that money for their overhead and administrative costs. And by the time it got down to it, the host country had very little influence. It was sort of imposed on them. And only a percentage of the overall money ever actually reached the patients and the people on the ground.
Meanwhile, real families, maybe even you watching right now, are deciding which bills not to pay this month. Tell me in the comments, does your community look like a place that comes first or last? Welcome back to Ben Dykes News, commentary for working Americans who are tired of getting crushed and pushed to the back of the line. And here's what I keep noticing. When Washington spends money overseas, there's no debate, no delay, no hesitation. But when you ask for a safer street, when you ask for lower grocery prices, when you ask for decent schools or affordable health care, suddenly Washington becomes broke. They become confused. They need studies, committees, experts, everything except answers. So let me ask you, when was the last time Washington made your life easier? Comments please below. I genuinely want to see what people say. And right on cue, whenever someone questions foreign spending, the media jumps out to guilt shame you. They say Americans just don't care enough. They say we're selfish or cold-hearted. You've seen the commercials, and they roll out some hungry people crying and starving, just emotionally blackmailing you while you're on your couch relaxing after a 12-hour day. But the country that donates the most, volunteers the most, and works the hardest, we're the selfish ones. I don't buy that, and I bet you don't buy it either.
We hope to sign many of these in the days to come. But the first one we're going to sign is with Kenya. And the reason why is twofold. Number one, because of our close partnership. Number two, because they have stable and strong institutions, both in government and in the healthcare sector. And over the next few years, we're going to be investing $1.6 billion in health assistance over the next 5 years.
Do you think America lacks compassion, or do we lack leadership? Put your answer down below. Here's the truth they don't talk about. America is hurting. We've got broken infrastructure. We've got families drowning in grocery bills. We've got neighborhoods dealing with crime, fentanyl, homelessness, and forgotten promises. Just scroll your local Facebook community group. People aren't asking for luxuries. They're asking for a livable country. And pause for a second and answer this. What's the number one thing in your area that desperately needs fixing? Is it the schools, the roads, homelessness, jobs? I'd love to know. This is the stuff foreign aid never pays for. It's funny the people who push foreign aid the hardest are the people who will never feel the cost of it. The lobbyists don't feel it. The donors don't feel it. The think tanks don't feel it. The politicians don't feel it, but you do. The mechanic, the truck driver, the teacher, the factory worker, the single parent trying to stretch one paycheck into 2 months. Comment your job below. I want people scrolling through to see exactly who funds this country. So here's the question every politician avoids. If America can afford billions for foreign countries, why can't we afford to take care of Americans? Why can we rebuild cities across the ocean, but ignore Detroit, Baltimore, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Cleveland, Chicago? The list goes on. Why is it America first somehow turned into a controversial term, but America last seems perfectly acceptable in Washington? Working Americans aren't asking for miracles. They're asking for fairness. Put our communities first. Put our families first. Put our neighborhoods first. Put America first in America's budget. And honestly, is that really too much to ask? At some point, Washington has to explain why the country that funds the world can't take care of its own people. And you see it on a daily basis. You've got friends, you've got family that you know could use an extra $20. But no, they're sending it to somebody around the world named Muhammad. But until now, the frustration you feel, it's justified. And conversations like this one matter because no one else is having them. Nobody else really wants to address the real issues that you all feel. You know, these dinner table conversations that maybe you might be too scared to have with your kid. Hey, Timmy, I can't really afford to buy you those cleats for baseball, but I'm glad our congressman sent in another $500 million for some kind of gender study in Egypt. That's the conversation that needs to be had so that your kid really knows why they can't do what they want to do in something that's adequate. It's not hateful. It's not hatred, to be honest. But it's time that Congress, that Washington, D.C., is honest with the American people. And right now, there's a lot of lying going on. And maybe it's to make you feel comfortable. Maybe it's to make you feel guilty so that you'll go along with it. I want to say thank you for watching. If you believe Americans deserve to come first in their own country, hit the subscribe button and tell me below. Where should Washington be spending money instead of overseas? Back here, your neighborhood, your county, your country? That's what I think. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.